where the fun begins.
Yo, everyone, you're listening to Filmmaker Mike and the boys, but for this episode, it's just me, Filmmaker Mike. That's right. So kind of doing a micro podcast here. Micro meaning compared to our usual show that could easily run over 2 hours. It's just me. So who knows how long I'll go for this episode, but I really wanted to do this. It is an early Monday rainy morning as I record this in the wee hours of the morning. So this news broke out a few days ago, and I really wanted to talk about this because I feel like this news that broke on Friday afternoon should have been much bigger than when it was released. So, and what I mean by that is that, yes, it's big news, but I feel like the reaction to it is also pretty big, but it seems like it was an underwhelming response. So I wanted to highlight this news that broke. So this is from the HollywoodReporter.com. And pretty much it says the title of the article is Hayden Christensen returning to Star Wars with AHSOKA series exclusive. So Rosario Dawson is starring as fan favorite character Ahsoka Tano, which we've known that she would be getting her spin-off series when it was announced last December, almost a year now ago. So this is written by Borys, who is a pretty legitimate writer and reporter for entertainment in the Hollywood Reporter, for the Heat Vision blog segment of the Hollywood Reporter. And says here, Hayden Christensen is staying in the fold of the Galactic Empire. The actor will reprise the role of Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader in Ahsoka, the latest Star Wars live-action series from Lucasfilm and Disney+. Multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. Rosario Dawson is starring as the fan-favorite character Ahsoka Tano, a Jedi Knight survivor, popular on the animation side of Star Wars, who made her live-action debut in the second season of The Mandalorian. Plot details are being kept in the far reaches of the Outer Rim, but it is known that longtime Star Wars lightsaber wielder Dave Filoni is writing the series and exec producing with Jon Favreau. It is unclear how Skywalker, or for that matter, Vader, will figure into Ahsoka, which, like Mandalorian, is set 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, and therefore after Vader's death. The character of Tano was the Padawan apprentice of Skywalker, so the latter's appearance in the series could be in the form of flashbacks, but knowing a thing or two about how the Force works, sources also posit the theory the character could be a Force ghost. Disney was as silent as Darth Maul when asked to comment. Production is due to begin in early 2022. Christensen famously played the future Vader in 2002's Star Wars Attack of the Clones and 2005's Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Fans went wild when it was announced at Disney Investor Day in December 2020 that the actor was returning to the role for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the live-action series starring Ewan McGregor. So there you go. That's the article. And I forgot to mention that I did start the audio, this little podcast episode with the audio bit of This Is Where the Fun Begins by Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen from Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, because this is where truly the fun begins. And so I wanted to talk about that news that broke. And it is huge because, yes, we already know that Hayden Christensen is returning, which is a huge announcement from that Disney Investor Day by Kathleen Kennedy, when she announced that Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and it'll be the rematch of the century. So by that, cluing it in, and the exact words that she chose to use, that's already hinting that Hayden Christensen will be returning not as Anakin Skywalker, but as Darth Vader in the Kenobi series. So that was really big and really huge news out of all the things that was announced, of course, from the Disney Investor Day media day frenzy. But now with this news that and a lot of, I guess you can say, a lot of fans have already speculated that it would be cool to see Hayden Christensen as Anakin in the Ahsoka series, but now we have official confirmation. And prior to this, I guess when this news broke, I think, or before the news broke, or it could be just minutes after, Rosario Dawson posted on her Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, or one of her social media accounts, that basically a page of the front page of the article with Hayden Christensen, and she kind of like, the caption was like, it seemed like the caption was towards Hayden, because they've known each other for a while now. There's a picture of them hugging each other from, I want to say, mid 2000s, because they were classmates in acting or drama school, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm talking about Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen. So of course there's Photoshop manipulations, manips of both of them as Anakin and Ahsoka, and a lot of fans saying, wishing that that could be true. Well, now guess what? We're getting it. So that's pretty amazing. As far as if we're going to get flashbacks or Force Ghost Anakin, or perhaps both, I mean, why not both, right? Why not both? I was talking to Jester about this, and my goodness, let's say the Ahsoka series is only 8 episodes. It's like a Mando, like the Mando series, right? There's only less than 10 episodes, and there's so much, and right now, my good old buddy Dave Filoni is writing the series. Of course, most likely the episodes will be under an hour, 45 minutes. There's so much story potential to write. And even if we just see glimpses, minutes here and there of flashbacks of Ahsoka with Anakin, with Hayden Christensen's Anakin, my goodness, it's just, the thought of it is just so exciting to imagine and to be able to see live action Anakin, Hayden Christensen in Clone Wars, like, gear, in his clone gear, Jedi gear, fighting alongside Ahsoka. That would be really cool. And as far as the Force Ghost, so I thought it was interesting because, if I'm not mistaken, it was for the DVD box set release, the first time that the trilogy was released in as a DVD box set. This is like what, mid 2000s, I want to say, when George Lucas, or was it the Blu-ray? It could have been, no, I think it was it a DVD? I want to say it's a DVD, not the Blu-ray. That George Lucas refilmed the scene of Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker and digitally reinserted him as a Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi. And I remember when that happened, there was a huge uproar from a lot of fans, especially the OG hardcore fans that really grew up with the original trilogy. Now, Kuya, I remember Kuya, he said that he threw something at the TV. I can't remember what he threw when he saw that. So there you go, right? I personally didn't mind it because it made sense. And it made sense from a cohesive standpoint as far as what George Lucas was doing. Sebastian Shaw, the original actor who played Anakin Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, when Luke removes his helmet and as the Force Ghost, and he's got they made an action figure and a 12-inch figure doll of him, and there's some merchandise out there of him, which is cool. But it makes sense that George did that because, of course, the prequel trilogy was now into play, and the prequel trilogy had already been finished by that point. So it made sense, because for anyone else watching Star Wars, growing up with Star Wars, with the prequel trilogy specifically, and then going, for anyone watching it in chronological order from episodes 1 to 6, when they get to Return of the Jedi and they see Sebastian Shaw, they're gonna be like, especially kids are gonna be like, who's that guy? What? That's not Anakin. Anakin is this guy, which is Hayden Christensen, right? So to that standpoint, made total sense. Total sense. And so now the reason I bring this up is it's interesting because I was telling Jester, had George Lucas not done that and he just left it alone. Now fast forward to today, and Dave Filoni is writing the AHSOKA series. Had George Lucas not digitally reinserted Hayden Christensen as a Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi in the DVD set, and then now, of course, the Blu-ray sets, and for ongoing prints of Return of the Jedi, will have Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost. Had George Lucas not done that, we would not have the option right now of seeing Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker as a Force Ghost, knowing that the Ahsoka series happens 5 years after the timeline, in the timeline after Return of the Jedi. So we would only be able to get flashbacks. But because George Lucas had the foresight and had this grand vision and knew, for the sake of the cohesive storytelling that he was trying to tell, and hey, it's not necessarily perfect, because you got to realize when he started this, he didn't even know it was going to be the massive success that it's become. When George Lucas was making Star Wars: A New Hope, it was a disaster left and right. Lots of things happening. He had no idea it would be this massive success. And so he had a template, he had all these ideas, these outlines, but there was no guarantee that he could actually pull it off, because again, if A New Hope didn't do so well the way it did back in 1977, and for the next few years until they made Empire Strikes Back, then we wouldn't even be talking about Ahsoka. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So yeah, because George Lucas had the foresight to digitally reinsert and film that scene additionally, and reinsert Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker as a Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi, now it allows Dave Filoni, perhaps, if we're even gonna see Force Ghost Anakin, if Dave Filoni is going there, and I have a feeling that we will. I really hope we do. And I really hope we do get both. I hope we see Anakin Skywalker flashback in the Clone Wars with Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka. It would be fantastic if Ewan McGregor was there as well as a young Obi-Wan Kenobi. My goodness, having the three of those live action characters with those actors together in a Clone Wars-esque scene, that would blow the minds of fans everywhere. It really would. Anakin, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, live action, Clone Wars. The whole episode could be a flashback of this one particular time where they were fighting in the Clone Wars. My goodness. It would be amazing. Dave Filoni knows how much the Clone Wars is beloved by fans. So I trust Dave Filoni. I know he will do us right. And whatever happens, I mean, this is just ideas that I just thought of right now. That would be simply mind-blowing to see Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker, and Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka Tano, in a Clone Wars scene. It could just even be a 5-minute flashback scene. A little bit of dialogue, a little bit of action here and there, and man, that'd be something. That would really be something. So yeah, but then again, if we get flashbacks and then we get Anakin Skywalker as Force Ghost communicating and speaking to Ahsoka and talking to her more about the Force and all these things, wow, amazing stuff. So much potential, so much amazing and fantastic potential with what we could see and what we could get in this Ahsoka series. So yeah, it's scheduled to begin filming early next year. So I'm hoping we get it at the end of 2022. Maybe not. Maybe we'll get it 2023, because of course, even if it's less than 10 episodes, they've got to do a lot of post productions, visual effects, special effects. But then again, they are also filming with the volume, that big digital screen that they've used on The Mandalorian, and they've also used on, if I'm not mistaken, they've also used on Andor, the Cassian Andor spin-off series, and Kenobi. I think they're going to be using that for all live action shows on Disney Plus for Star Wars, especially going forward. And if I'm not mistaken, they also use that technology. If it's not the same or similar technology, I think it's the same. They also used it for the Batman. Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves, the Batman, which is due to come out next year of March. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to mention as far as that, but that's the big topic that I wanted to talk about that broke. That's the big news that broke on Friday afternoon. And yes, it was a kind of like, yeah, duh, he's already appearing. Hayden Christensen is already appearing for Kenobi. So of course this had to happen for Ahsoka. But I want to say, yeah, duh. Anyone could have seen this coming, sure. But now that we have official confirmation, it is truly exciting at the potential of what we could see and what we could get. But I think Rosario Dawson is fantastic as Ahsoka. A lot of fans, of course, are also saying that, yeah, it should have been Matt Lanter, but let's take a step back and realize Matt Lanter is the voice of Anakin on the Clone Wars for animation, and Matt Lanter is fantastic as Anakin Skywalker. When it comes to the animation for the Clone Wars and Rebels, oops, spoilers, not really. And Ashley Eckstein as well is the voice of Ahsoka, yes, but I feel like they did the right choice. They took a bold step by going with Rosario Dawson and casting someone, because you have to remember, when it's a live action performance, it's not just a voice anymore. And I don't mean to say that and demean the performance of voice actors, not at all. I think voice actors are fantastic. Whether it's in Star Wars animation or not, there's a lot of great work that voice actors do in various forms of media, whether it's an animated film, an animated series, a video game, and even commercials and ads. So, but yeah, I really feel that they really made the right choice by going with Rosario Dawson. I really liked her performance in that one episode of The Mandalorian, The Jedi. So, and that was like one of my absolute favorite episodes of season 2 of The Mandalorian. And so, of course, as far as speaking about and talking about The Mandalorian on that topic, if I'm not mistaken, The Mandalorian season 3 is currently filming right now. Right now, that's right. So, and as far as the Book of Boba Fett, we should be getting a trailer on November 12th, aka Disney Plus Day, the day that they launched. What was it, 2 years ago now, or 3 years ago? Yeah, 2019, 2 years ago. So and as far as that Disney Plus Day, we should be getting not just a trailer for the Book of Boba Fett, but a bunch of other sneak peeks from upcoming Disney Plus series and movies and all these other things. Everything Disney Plus. So, and of course, Book of Boba Fett, we will be seeing that will be out on I want to get the date right here. I just want to check real quick. I'm thinking it's December 29th of December. And yes, it is. So, and that's the Book of Boba Fett will be dropping on December 29th on Disney Plus. So that is a Wednesday, because of course now going forward, all the, like with Marvel's What If, Disney has pretty much said that they're going to be dropping every new episode of their, original series and all that stuff on Wednesdays now instead of Fridays. So instead of waiting towards the end of the week, you can now, like, right in the smack dab in the middle, here you go. So, and as far as the Book of Boba Fett dropping on December 29th, I thought that was pretty cool, because right after Christmas, we got something to look forward to. And that's the Book of Boba Fett. I just wish and hope that we get a lot of cool toys and merchandise, Book of Boba Fett related, in the stores right during that Christmas season to hype up the release, because it'd be cool to just like go to the store, see a cool display of Book of Boba Fett, at Target, and see a cool display of Book of Boba Fett toys and merchandise and be like, yeah, let's go Boba Fett, so that would be cool. But that's just wishful thinking from a fan. So I've got my Anakin Skywalker figure right here, vintage collection. And this is pretty much at the Duel of, well, not at the Duel of Mustafar, but it's Revenge of the Sith Anakin with his soft goods robe. And I do have my Ewan McGregor, or Obi-Wan Kenobi. Of course, it's Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan Kenobi vintage collection, episode 3 figure as well. They've got the soft goods robes. So I always enjoyed these figures. Super articulation, lots of great articulation. And then I do have an Ahsoka action figure right here from the vintage collection as well. Though I don't have the proper saber. She's holding Anakin's saber here. But this is from the vintage collection as well. So, but yeah, and that's why I guess I was thinking of, it'd be cool to see live action Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka together, because I had these figures right here, right in front of me. And then I just realized, like, hey, why not? Why not? They can easily get Ewan McGregor, for a day to film a scene with Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson. Man, that's just, that idea alone excites me for this series. And again, this is just wishful thinking. I'm not expecting to see that. If we don't see that, hey, that's fine. But I have a feeling that Dave Filoni already knows, because he's always, and this is why he is the perfect example and the perfect student, really, that George Lucas chose to pass on his teachings of everything Star Wars. Everything Star Wars that he taught Dave Filoni while working on the Clone Wars animated series has really paid off, because now we're seeing the fruits of that labor. And who knows, the thousands of hours that Dave Filoni has spent learning from the master himself. So, and I've said it on the podcast before, and I'll say it again, I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Ahsoka series that's being written by Dave Filoni. I'm wondering if he's going to direct all the episodes, or perhaps at least a good chunk of them. That would be really cool. Because I'm assuming, of course, directing these episodes can also be, even one episode is quite a task. So, if Dave doesn't direct all the episodes or a handful of them, I totally understand, because, man, I can only imagine the work that's needed to be done for these episodes. He'll probably have guest, directors, like what they've done with The Mandalorian, which I always enjoyed, because each episode kind of has a different feel, though it is telling one overarching story. Each episode kind of has its own different flavor because of the different directors that direct the episodes. So I thought that was cool. So in Dave Filoni, I trust, if that's not been apparent or clear. I'm really looking forward to what we could see. And again, so going back to my point, because I lost it for a bit, I'm excited to see this Ahsoka series written by Dave Filoni and produced with Jon Favreau, hopefully directed, at least a few episodes by Dave Filoni. And I'm also excited at what we could see from Dave Filoni in the future, because it is only a matter of time until we see Dave Filoni direct a full-length live-action Star Wars feature film. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It has to. It's just a no-brainer. Seeing what we've seen him do and what he's learned, it's going to happen. So it's really exciting. I'm really excited. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning in and for listening in on this episode. If you're listening on this to this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any other podcatcher that you prefer, iHeartRadio or Stitcher, Breaker, Anchor, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Feel free to also watch this. If you want to watch the audio, the video of this, you can watch it on YouTube as well. Just search for FilmakerMike, FilmakerMike. There you go. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to comment below and let me know what you think of this news that Hayden Christensen is coming back, not just in the Kenobi series, but now also in the Ahsoka live action series that'll be coming sooner. So that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching or listening or both. If I'm really excited as a Star Wars fan. There's lots of potential. So that's pretty much it. Thanks again for listening, for watching. Stay safe out there. Until next time, may the Force be with you. Bye.